welcome back to Retro Rewire. My name's JJ, and in today's episode I want to talk about light gun games. Now, my experience with light gun games goes back to the 90s. I'd often head, usually with my friends, to the local arcade, and we would drop a couple quarters into games like House of the Dead, Area 51, just having a good time, trying to get that high score, trying to beat the game. Usually we would fail, but it was cool when a lot of those publishers were bringing those games to home consoles like the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. You kind of had like an arcade experience in the comfort of your home. And it was even better when you had the light gun game controllers, which I actually have here. So let's take a look at these. I have the Sega Saturn Virtual Gun. I have the Namco Gun Con for the PlayStation. And I actually have one more for the PlayStation. It's the Konami Hyper Blaster. I just received this, so let's go ahead and unbox this as well as the other two and have a closer look in detail on the controllers themselves. And then we'll head into, dive into some gameplay. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and unbox this bad boy and see what we got. Now, I actually got this from Amazon. And it was fairly inexpensive. I only paid about like $4, something like that. So let me do this. And oh yeah, this looks cool. So here we go. Boom, horned owl. Yeah, here we go. That's a better angle. Let me pop it open, and there's the Konami Hyper Blaster. And we also have a copy of Horned Owl. I've never actually played this, so I'm looking forward to it. Ooh, yes. I do like it when they include the Obi card. Looks like we have the Obi card, a couple stickers. That's nice. Didn't expect that. And the manual and the game. That's some cool disc art. Have the manual here. So we'll definitely pop this. So pop this in the PlayStation and have a closer look. But cool, yeah. Let's take a look at the other ones and see how they compare. Next, we have the Namco Gun Con. I only paid about I paid 200 yen, which is about $1.80 in today's money back home. So let's go ahead and pop this guy open. And what we have here looks like a questionnaire of some sorts, maybe a warranty card. The instructions for the gun con, and here is the gun itself. Look at that bad boy. So let me go ahead and pop this open. Now this here is an adapter because the newer PlayStations removed these RCA jacks that were included in the early PlayStations, and I guess if you didn't have access to it, this was the easy way to hook up the gun. And if you see here, here's the controller port, and then we have, if I can get this out, this is the composite cable. So you would hook this into your PlayStation controller port 1, and then this would go on the back of your PlayStation. If you had one of those newer PlayStations I was just telling you about, you would hook this up here, and then this would go on the back of your PlayStation, and then from here you would run that to your television and get it all hooked up. And it looks like A button. On the other side is the B button. Trigger. Nice design. And last but not least, we have the Virtual Gun for the Sega Saturn. So let me go ahead and pop this open. Pull it out. And yeah, pretty slick. Check that out. Button. Trigger. And this one is just simple, just plug and play. So what we have here is my light gun game collection. I showed this off in the intro, but I have Elemental Gearbolt, Biohazard Gun Survivor, Time Crisis, and Horned Owl for the PlayStation 1. Sega Saturn, I have House of the Dead, Virtual Cop 2, and the first Virtual Cop. So let's go ahead and check out some of these games and see how they hold up. What we have here is Virtual Cop for the Sega Saturn. Got a training mode, arcade mode of course, we got options. For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna go directly into the arcade mode. Yeah, and to reload, you have to shoot outside the screen. Pretty simple. And if you see the reticle, you have to shoot them before it lines up in the middle there. If you don't shoot them before that, you're gonna get shot. Oh, see, there we go, I got shot. If you get shot, you lose any power-ups that you pick up. And one thing about the light gun is that after a while, your arm does get tired. You'll never get me. Oh, come on. You know what? It's really difficult to focus on playing the game and speaking. Ah, that's bad. All for wanting the gun. Oh, I need that shotty. Yeah, shotgun. Ah. Whatever, I didn't want it anyway, so.
Pretty bold, aren't we? I'll take care of you myself.
I mean, this fool brings a rocket launcher to a gunfight. Oh, you know that was cool.
Wait, I give up like fun. I'll talk what you want to know about a racket.
Sorry, buddy. We don't take any prisoners. Alright, so what we have next is The House of the Dead. Let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Let's go into the arcade mode. Oh God. Green blood. I think you can change the blood in the options menu. Heading into the mansion. Now this game's actually pretty tough. It's I've never actually beaten it. Definitely harder than Virtual Cop. Nobody leaves here alive, huh? Ah. Getting hit and so early in the game. That's bad. Come on. Killer frogs. It's always the small enemies in games that are the most annoying. I can't believe that this game has only been ported to the Saturn. Dude, that was the most hilarious run. Freaking maniac. Ah, I killed him. That was a disaster. Leave that out of the report. Oh, jeez. Freaking spider monkey. Aw, come on. Dude, that zombie was ripped. Sophie. Uh-oh. Oh, jeez. Ah, whatever. Terrible player. But for this guy, usually before a boss fight, it's going to tell you where their weak point is. Whoa, this guy's taking me out like there's no tomorrow. Reload, fool. That took like 4 continues. That's not good. For the next game, I'm going to put in a Elemental Gearbolt for the PlayStation, and I'm going to switch over to the Namco GunCon. Now, Elemental Gearbolt supports both the GunCon and the Hyper Blaster, and there's a few games on the PlayStation that either support one or the other. But yeah, let's play some Gearbolt. Pretty cool art. Pretty cool art style. It seems to have like a Vampire Hunter D vibe. So it seems to have a pretty deep story, but because we're playing a light gun game, you know, we're gonna shoot first and then ask questions later. So let's dive right into the game. And now the interesting thing about this game is that unlike, you know, your traditional shooter, usually when you want to reload, you shoot outside of the screen, but this one, you don't have to do that. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that you can shoot like a maniac. I think you have to be more precise about your shooting. But it has a really cool style. Kind of like, you know, Vampire Hunter D-ish. And like Panzer Dragoon. Oh, trying to get those little fairies. I don't know what they do, but it's not a good way to start the game already. Now, mind you, I'm playing with my left hand. I'm right-handed. Enough excuses, let's go. When you see those little green orbs, it's like the fairies, and that just gives you more points. There's a certain number of them throughout the game, and I'm just trying to collect them all because I'm such a tool. Good, some life. Yes, give me life. But yeah, I really dig the music. Orchestral. Definitely a unique game, especially in the light gun category. Usually it's like henchmen or zombies. Whoa, something big's coming. This is the boss. You and now. How many did I get? Oh, right on, I got them all. Give me them points. All right, now it's time for the Hyper Blaster by Konami. Hit hard and fast. Okay, one player game. Normal. 21 years, whoa, these guys are young. Young bucks. Whoa, cool. Noise. Cool. Kind of prefer the unique fantasy setting from Gearbolt. But I'll definitely try to complete this. Actually, one thing that I heard about this Hyper Blaster, not sure, I haven't verified it, and maybe one day I will. But if you connect the gun to the second player port while playing Silent Hill, it unlocks the Hyper Blaster in the game. Actually, you know what? This level's pretty long in comparison to the levels in Gearbolt. But yeah, I'm digging it. And you know what? The visuals, I like them. Dude, I really hate the dudes that chuck. Don't like them in Virtual Cop, don't like them in Horned Owl. Here we go, here we go. So we're at the airport, I take it. My character must be in a mecha, a robot. Oh, I think this is the end for me. 4%. Had a good run, man. Boom, and that's it. Okay, so we just checked out some gameplay. Now let's have a look at the games. Let's go ahead and open it. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty simple. Lift this up. Then yeah, we have a wider view of the cover there. It's really neat. And here we have the Obi card. Little spine card. Usually these little spine cards have pricing information, but this one doesn't. But let me pull out the manual here. I think that was one of the bosses, second level boss. It looks like the first level boss there. So it shows that it's compatible with the Namco GunCon, which is what I was using to play the game. The Hyper Blaster and a regular controller. It's just kind of detailing. Here we go. So it looks like these are the players that you control, and then these may be antagonists, I don't know. I think it's just breaking down how the gameplay works and how they divvy up the points. But yeah, pretty cool. Some of the enemy types. Yeah. Pretty cool. So there's that. So here we have House of the Dead on the Sega Saturn. But there's the disc. And yeah, this game was a late release. I think it's possible one of the final games to be released on Saturn. But here's all the goodies. We have the registration card. Put that to the side. Here we have the Obi card, the spine card. This seems to be some kind of flyer for, I don't know, but it's 1,200 yen for whatever it is that they're selling. The perfect service manual. This must be like a guidebook. Maybe that's what that was too, a guidebook. And these are always cool to look at because it shows like the catalog of, you know, upcoming games and games that are available. And what's cool is it shows pricing information. So I think this is House of the Dead here, and it retailed for 5,800. So about standard price. Although I think back then, back in the 90s, most of the games were in the States when they launched, especially CD-based games, they were at $49.99. Here's the manual. Color manual, cool. Little character bios. What do we have here? Thomas Rogan and Agent G. Yeah, cool. Dr. Curian, Sophie Richards. And here's just listing the compatible controllers, your standard one, the 3D pad, and the Virtua Gun, which is, I think, the best way to play the game. And yeah, it's just detailing how the game works. But yeah, pretty neat. Monster file. These darn little monkeys. They're so annoying. But yeah, that's that. Alright, so we're pretty much at the end of the video, and we took a look at some of the light gun games, the light guns themselves, the Hyper Blaster, the Gun Con, and the Virtua Gun. As far as for me, there's not really one that I prefer. There's something about each one that I like, and they're fairly inexpensive. I paid less than $10 for all three of them. You could usually find them, if you're in Japan, you could usually find them like in the junk section at recycle shops, thrift stores. And even if you go to the more popular stores like Super Potato, that's where I picked up the Virtua Gun, and I paid about $3 for it. If you don't have access to like a CRT, you can play a number of these light gun games on the Nintendo Wii and the PlayStation 3 if you have the Move controllers. And those will definitely work with the more modern display, and there's a number of games available on each of those consoles. But yeah, let me know what some of your favorite light gun games are in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching Retro ReWire. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you again next time.